Okay, today we're going to try something new. This is called a beef rib roast. Never seen one before, but I really think it's a ribeye with the beef ribs still attached to it. So I want to take a second. Thank you for all the views, and if you're new to the channel, click that subscribe button. And I guess we're going to get this thing started. First thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to get this out of this plastic, get it rinsed off, and when I start trimming on it, I'll be right back. Alright, here's our roast. This thing weighed almost 14 pounds, and as always, anytime you have ribs, there's always a membrane, and we are going to take that membrane off, trim off a lot of this fat, and we're definitely going to be trimming this all off. We want to get down into the meat, so all this stuff's got to go. So I guess without any further ado, we'll get started on this thing. I have a feeling this is going to be a fairly quick cook. Famous last words. It'll be 2 o'clock in the morning when we're eating it, probably. But this is a cut. This is not like, you know, normally when you do short ribs. Okay, camera timed out on us a little bit. I was saying that this cut of meat, I don't really think it's going to take very long to cook. And when I say that, I'm thinking maybe 4 or 5 hours out there, because I'm only going to look for a final temp before I bring it in to let it rest of about 140, 145. Keeping in mind that while it's resting, the temperature is going to increase right around 7 degrees. They always say 5 to 10, but in my experience, it's usually right at 7 degrees. So what that does, that'll give me some of my medium well, and it gives Camera Babe some of her well out on the ends, because she doesn't want it bleeding. So it's kind of where we found that if I cook it to about 145, that makes both of us happy. Finish up what I'm doing. I'm going to flip around, do the same thing over here on this side. You see I got a piece here that I haven't even started. Now when I come back and do the bottom side, I'll probably bring the camera back on, because there's a membrane here that I want to try to get most of the way off, and on beef it's a lot tougher than a spare rib. So we'll be back in just a minute. Alright, I did this other one, the other side of this, and as you can see, and this is just that old nasty hard fat that's like on a brisket that you trim off because there's no way it's ever going to render. And that's basically what all that was right there. So then I found more silver skin and stuff underneath it. And so I got to that, cut as much as I could down in there. I don't know how well it's going to tie up, but we're still going to try it, or tie it, because this is our beef ribs right here. And as you can see, they're just like a prime rib. And basically when I looked this piece of meat up, it said that it was a prime rib. So anyway, explains why it was so expensive. Kind of hurts your heart to cut away that much of what you're you pay all that money for stuff, and this is all junk. I mean, there's a little bit of meat in there, but I mean, that is all just fat and the silver skin, and it's just stuff you don't want to eat or serve to people. So, and like I said, this membrane here, you need to take this off, and it is a lot tougher than a, you know, pork. You just do this. Darn, I thought it was going to work, huh?
I did too. Because
It was for a second.
beef is always rough. No,
That wasn't too bad. Easier than most. I was expecting it to be like a dang short ribs. You basically got to sit and carve that stuff off. But I think we're going to leave it just like this. Pretty happy with it. Just want to make sure there aren't any little pieces of bone laying anywhere. I also went along this up here, and I just, you know, kind of just trimmed it off. But I think we're in pretty good shape now. This fat's not that hard fat like a lot of this. This stuff here will probably render down, I'm pretty sure. If not, then it should have. So I guess that's what we're going to leave it as. I gotta throw my stuff out here to the cats, the junk, and then I'll throw this up in the pan, and we'll come right back and start injecting and putting our seasonings on it. And man, I found a new seasoning. We're going to try that on this tonight too. So we'll be back in just a minute. Okay, we're back. It's been about an hour. I've been carving on this thing for an hour. Look at it. It's like blue. But I mean, you've got to get that stuff down in there. And if you don't, when you cut into it, you're going to be trying to chew through it, and it's not going to be very good. Now, normally on large cut of meat like this, what I'll do is I'll inject this and then I'll season it. But I think on this one tonight, I'm going to season it first. That way I can get seasoning all down in here, and then when I tie it, because I'm going to wrap that piece of meat back up over it, then we'll have seasoning all the way down in there, and then I'll inject it from there. So let's get going. And I want to try this new Western barbecue spice. Oh, about this at GFS. We'll see. It's probably ruin the whole thing. I've never tried it on anything before, so we'll see. As you can see, I'm just now opening it. Maybe if I can get hold of the little tab. It smells like, don't smell too bad. Here, smell that. It doesn't have a whole lot in it, according to the back, to the front.
Mild.
Yeah, I don't have my glasses on, but there wasn't really a whole lot of stuff in there. So, anyway, we're going to use that. Made by Trade East. It's called Western Barbecue Spice. I have garlic powder, an onion powder, cracked black pepper, some Montreal steak, and some smoked paprika, and that's what we're going to go with on this. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. I think that I'm probably going to want to get all these opened up. So let's just get going here. This is our onion powder. I'm going to tell you the same story I've been saying the last however many videos since I bought this crap. Get the granulated. This is actual powder. And I know better, but I still bought powder and didn't realize it until I got it home to start to use it. At that point, you're stuck with it. So, what do you got? Because I'm probably going to need it on the other side. And this is garlic, same way. Get the granulated. This is powder. Granulated just comes out more even. Oh, see how that come out all in one big old hump? reason I don't like it. It's all over me. It's like I'm at work and sanding ball dough. Okay. This is going to be our cracked black peppercorns. And you can use regular table grind or restaurant grind, a medium grind, whatever you want to use. I think this makes a little bit better bark. So that's what we're going to use. Montreal steak. Give it a pretty good coating of it. Yeah. Looking good. Okay. Last but not least, got the paprika. And whenever you put meat in the smoker, always put a good coat of paprika on it, no matter what it is, because it's going to give it the nice mahogany color that you're looking for when you get it out there on the pit. Alright, that's done. Yeah. Alright, we're back. Live action. Turtle Man says. I kind of learned when I'm out there tying up tomato plants is if I'll bring this around. Should have cut that a little longer. But I go under it once and then I go under it twice. If I can get it to go under the second time. And then when you pull it tight, it wants to stay better than if you just go. It's like having somebody with their finger in the, holding their finger down in there. Keep the string from slipping back so your knot will be tight. Funny how when you do things over and over and over, you learn little tricks. Okay. So, now we need to season. We need to season this and the other end of it. If it'll hold up there for me. So, start out again. Just do like that then. Be our onion powder. Dusty stuff. And our garlic powder. Garlic powder must really come out of there today. Making a mess out of the spice containers today. Okay, that's the 3 of them down. And go to our Montreal. And as you can see, I'm not really wasting much seasoning on the. And I'll probably still have a little bit to do here when I roll this thing back over. Our Western BBQ Spice. I'm interested to see what the heck that's going to do. And then our paprika again. I'm not wasting a whole lot of spice down there on them bones. That's going to be the bottom side. And the other thing is, put this back over here because I think it's still got a little bit right there, yeah. Let's start back again. Onion. And the garlic. Look at that powder. That's crazy. black pepper, black pepper, and the paprika. And then we're ready to inject this thing. Alright, I'm going to wash my hands off, come right back. We're going to inject this thing up. Okay, we're getting ready to inject our, I don't know, what did I call this thing?
Rib roast.
Yeah, kind of. It's a beef rib roast. I'm going to call it a prime rib. It's got those funky bone things going on in the bottom. Okay, in my injection, I started out with 2 cups of water. Into that I put a tablespoon of Miner's beef base, Miner's beef au jus. I added just a little bit of Creole butter, which that's new, I've never tried that in this before. And then just a little bit of apple juice. And just mess with it a little bit. I did end up having to put just a little bit more of the au jus back in it because it kind of lost the beefy taste. It really wasn't balanced real well. But I'm kind of happy with what it tastes like now. So anyway, that's what we've got as an injection, and we're just going to get to this, and you want to put it as much as it'll hold, and anything that's left we're going to use as our mop sauce during the cooking process. So there's our roast, and we're going to let that sit and rest. It's probably going to take me 30 to 45 minutes because I have to go out and get the fill the chimneys. I got to get the chimneys ready. I'm going to light 2 chimneys of charcoal, and it'll probably be 30 or 45 minutes before the pit's up to temp. So we're just going to leave this set out, let it sit here and rest. Those seasonings will soak into the meat, marinate the meat a little bit, and it also lets the meat relax because it's actually been out of the refrigerator now for about 1 hour and 25 minutes. So that's going to give about 2 hours to warm up. I like to get these big cuts of meat up, I don't know, close to room temperature because the meat's more relaxed when you put it out there on the smoker. So anyway, we'll be back in a little bit when we throw this thing on the pit. We're out here at the cooker. I'm going to tell you how I got this thing set up. Pretty much the standard way I always do. I put 2 chimneys of charcoal. One's Kingsford and the other is just a hardwood lump charcoal. I got some hickory wood chunks in there providing the smoke. Also, it's like in the upper 30s out here today, kind of rainy and nasty out. And I put a water pan down on this end of the cooking chamber, right where the heat comes in. Try to keep as much moisture as I can in the cooking chamber. The other thing is, on these big pieces of meat I always talk about, you want to put them in, this is a little lower on this side, you want to think about it being aerodynamic and the smoke coming up over this piece of meat. So we're going to put it in that way, with that towards the heat, towards the smoke. We're just going to throw this right here in the middle at 275, and we're going to let it ride. So we'll come back to this in about 1 hour, and I guess we'll see you in 1 hour. Been 1 hour. Went quick, didn't it? I'm going to tell you a little bit about this. It's been 1 hour. We're holding right about 275. It's actually about 280. I've had to add one more lump of hickory into the firebox. Charcoal's still doing good. What I expect to happen here, you know, they say when you open the lid of this, yeah, the temperature is going to go down for a minute. But what's going to happen actually, when I close this back up, it's had such a rush of air into the firebox with this being open, because right now the only vent it has is up here and it's only open about that far. It's going to spike, so you're going to have to stand over it and watch it probably for 10 or 15 minutes, but just expect that. I know this about this cooker. So let's look and see what we got here. Oh, that's looking good. Check your water pan while you're in here. I brought some water to add to it. It's not out, but I want to add some to it. And then while we're in here, now this is my injection, which was the beef base, beef au jus, and I think a little bit of apple juice and some of the Creole Butter, which I've never tried the Creole Butter as far as an injection in beef. I just add a little bit to it. So we're just going to drizzle some of this injection over top of it. They call this a mop, but I wouldn't actually touch the meat yet because I don't want to move any of those seasonings around in there. This thing's really looking good. I mean, it is really looking good. How's it look on the camera? Can you see?
Yeah, I could see it. I mean, I'd move the camera, but yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to close it up, and like I said, be prepared for your pit to spike, especially if it's an offset like this. It's going to happen, so you're just going to have to stand over it. See you in another hour. Okay, we just pulled this thing in off the pit. It's been a little over 2.5 hours. And while I got this in here doing this, I made up another chimney of charcoals about 20 minutes ago. We're looking at about 124 on that end. About 109 in the middle. About 122 on that end. That's why Camera Babe likes the ends, huh? Mm-hmm. They're a little more done.
Yes.
Okay, normally a large cut of meat like this I would put on a rack in the pan. These are kind of like the baby backs, say on a pig. They're really arched, and that's going to hold it up and do it the job I want. But this right here is a cooling rack. Normally, if I was doing a pork butt, even a brisket, I would set this down in there. Now this is 16 by 10 inches. Good luck finding that in the store. You have to order these online. So, that being said, we are going to use the rest of what our mop here, and it was our injection. We're just going to pour this right over the top. Just like that. Now, I'm going to take this back out. Well, I'm going to seal it up really tight with foil. And I don't know. I got a feeling maybe an hour and a half or 2 hours from now, this thing will be done. So, going back out on the pit, 275. See you in a minute. Been 5 hours. And that includes a half-hour rest time. It looks like it might be juicy. Oh, juicy to you?
Looks juicy to me, yeah.
It's a dripping.
Drip.
Alright, so we're going to slice this. It went 4.5 hours at 275 degrees. Left it on wrap for like, I think 2.5 hours. And then we wrapped it, and it went about another, I don't know. I guess another 2 hours at 275. Right now I'm cutting the string off. So when I pulled this thing out, it was about 140-ish and 150-ish. That's going to be Camera Babe's in down there. She likes the 150-ish. Don't you?
Yeah, I don't like the blood.
Don't like the blood.
Nope.
What's your food bleeding, huh?
Nope.
You want it mooing?
No, I'll put it in a microwave. If it is. Done it before.
That ruins it. Okay, there's our strings. We'll get them out of the way. Got those off. Now, a couple of different ways to slice this thing, from what I've seen. And there are going to be some thick slices. But I'm going to go right in the middle of this. Let's see what we get. There's a little flap we folded up.
Mm.
It looks pretty good. I say a pretty good smoke ring all the way around it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Want to try a bite? I know you want to bite off this end.
You know me.
Look down here on the end that camera babe likes.
Yeah, see,
Look at that
that's
smoke rate.
well done.
Yeah.
I see steam coming off of that.
It's probably all dried up and nasty.
Oh no, it's pretty good. The bark's got a really good flavor.
So you like that new barbecue rub?
Not bad. It just
I'd
needs
say
a little
that
bit.
ain't bad. It's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
As long as you see yours. Because it ain't cooked to hell.
Good though.
Mm. This is really good. This got excellent flavor. Mm. So, $2.75, and we did really good at staying at $2.75. But anyway, $2.75. Oh, 4.5 hours. We did 2.5 uncovered in the smoke, and then 2 hours covered in the pan. Half-hour rest. It makes 5 hours. That was really good. I gotta say, I like that new barbecue rub. So until next time, keep it smoking.